Welcome once again to Thought of the Day. Our readings are taken from Esther chapter 2, Amos chapter 7, and Titus chapters 1, 2, and 3. Our thought taken from Titus is, nothing is pure. We do not know as much about Titus as we do about Timothy, but Paul left him in Crete to help the many converts there. Paul writes to him, "To Titus, my true child, in the common faith," chapter 1 and verse 4. Of course, the faith was only common in the sense that it was becoming common to believe the message. But that brings its own problems, as some want to join a common enterprise for less than good reasons and real conviction. Titus had been left in Crete, in verse 5 we read, "so that you might put what remained into order and appoint elders in every town. And these elders must be above reproach, and have one wife, and his children are believers. Those he appoints should be hospitable, a lover of good, self-controlled, upright, holy, and disciplined. They must hold firm to the trustworthy word as taught, so that they may be able to give instruction on sound doctrine, and also rebuke those who contradict it." Verses 8 and 9 of the chapter. Then, as now, true believers shine as lights in a dark world. We recall what Paul wrote to those in Corinth. "For God, who said, 'Let light shine out of darkness,' has shone in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ." 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 6. But do our hearts react to this light in the right way? Sadly not. We need to be constantly aware of the true nature and wonder of that divine light. At Crete, some were not, and Paul was aware some were upsetting whole families by teaching for shameful gain what they ought not to teach. Verse 11. Paul makes the point, "To the pure all things are pure, but to the defiled and unbelieving nothing is pure. But both their minds and their consciences are defiled. They profess to know God, but they deny him by their works." Verses 15 and 16. Our actions must match the things we profess. We show to God by how we live, by what we do with our time, and also by what we read and watch, whether what we profess is really genuine. God sees all. We are not expected to be perfect, but we are in training for perfection. In this training period, we are covered by the wonder of his grace. Notice how Paul expresses this. "For the grace of God has appeared, bringing salvation for all people, training us to renounce ungodliness and worldly passions, and to live self-controlled, upright, and godly lives." Chapter 2, verses 11 and 12. Our Lord is the ultimate example. He gave himself for us to redeem us from all lawlessness and to purify for himself a people for his own possession who are zealous, as Paul writes in chapter 2 and verse 14 to Titus. Do you feel in your heart that you are in the process of becoming pure? Well, thank you for joining us for another thought, and we hope that you can join us again tomorrow. God bless.